It's now my pleasure to introduce our final speaker, Shuki Ehrlich. Shuki is a veteran of our software industry, and he's here today to talk about Committed to Give. Those are some words we've heard from a couple of other people. Committed to Give is a program that brings together a group of Israeli social investors, really our leading social investors, who are coming together in order to not just raise the bar, but to widen the base of Israeli philanthropy. So Shuki, please.
It feels good to be here in a room full of people who share one common goal: to invest back in Israel society, to strengthen it, and to make it better. My name is Shuki Ehrlich, and I'm a social investor. Some would call me a philanthropist, but the title really doesn't matter. Until 2000, I was engaged in building MDocs, a large high-tech enterprise that have gained international success. For 30 years, I was focusing on the Israeli startup, high-tech and startups scene. Then I decided to share my time between mentoring startups and becoming an active social investor. And I can tell you that I found out that Israel is not only the startup nation, but it's the cradle for social startups as well. I'm here today as a proud chair of Committed to Give, a group of 18 private philanthropists that name and pictures you can see on the screen. We are dedicated to change the culture of giving in Israel. After Shitofim's Dushi's overview, we can look back with satisfaction at the change in Israel philanthropy that has undergone in recent years. The amount of private donations, as well as the increased strategic donors that are planning ahead and are committed to provide meaningful commitment for a long term, donors that are becoming more involved in leading social change and in developing the strategy to promote it. For example, the urgent problem of youth at risk, the culture of driving, the scary number of road accidents, the large community of psychotrauma victims in Israel. These are only 3 examples of issues that we have witnessed a dramatic change on a national level. Behind each of them, there are devoted private Israeli donors who belong to a growing community of Israeli philanthropists that deserve to be mentioned for their work to strengthen Israeli society. But I won't mention any names, so I will not forget any of these very special individuals. Although we express our appreciation and gratitude to those private donors who are dedicated to creating a better Israeli society, there is still a huge gap in the numbers between those who can and give and those who can but do not. JFN benchmark for significant private giving is a minimum $25,000 per year on an ongoing basis. As you heard, a recently Merrill Lynch report estimates that are more than 10,000 millionaires with a capital of $1 million in Israel live today. Based on our estimate, only 1,000 families give $25,000 on an annual basis. The findings of this report were among the reasons that Jewish Founders Network in Israel and Shitofim decided to embark on an ambitious initiative aiming to change the scope of private giving in Israel. Through the establishment of an active and personally involved impact group named Committed to Give, in Hebrew, יכולים, נותנים, we understood that in order to change the culture of giving among wealthy Israelis and help donors progress from incidental giving to strategic and effective giving, we must overcome personal inhibitions and public cynicism and come out of the closet to create a paradigm shift. At Committed to Give, we pursue 3 goals: to promote public awareness to the importance of Israeli private giving, to expand the circle of private donors in Israel, and to encourage effective and strategic giving. Since we are concerned about the low level of private donation in Israel in view of the country's wealth potential, Committed to Give wishes to create a critical mass of donors and donations to strengthen and complement the government share. When we started off, we met every few weeks, studied and analyzed both the obstacles and the motives for giving. We established a steering committee and committees for branding and marketing, measurement and ethics. We understood early on that this is a long-term effort for which we built a strategy, a detailed work plan, and a budget. Committed to Give has been active for almost 3 years now, and I can assure you that we are even more committed and more professional today than we have started. We already created a new discourse in connecting donors to private effective philanthropy by meeting target audience and by inviting potential philanthropists to engage, and by enhancing the awareness of the public and the media to Israel philanthropy. Everyone shares the responsibility, but we, the wealthy, have the opportunity and the ability to invest our money, our time, our experience and connections, and most of all, ourselves. In other words, we wish to combine the well-doing with the well-being of Israel, to which we are all totally committed. I'm confident that in the next GA in Jerusalem, we shall not be a small group of pioneering philanthropists, but a large and vibrant community of Israelis who are committed to give. Thank you. Becky?